Alright, so, I went on home time and, wanted to have a good time, and I did. Me and Jesse sat around and played Borderlands 3. And uncharacteristically, we decided to get, well, I decided to get shit-faced. Now, anybody who knows me knows I don't drink alcohol. It's not really my thing. I'll kick it, with Thomas or Ray, play some drunk Call of Duty or whatever, that's fun. But generally speaking, I don't get drunk with Jessie because it just makes the sex awkward. So, you got like limbs and shit fumbling all over the place, and then, all of a sudden she's got a black eye, and then all of a sudden I wake up in jail, and then all of a sudden there's a restraining order, and then all of a sudden I've lost all my stuff. Yeah, I don't really drink, and anybody who knows me, knows that if I do drink, it's because something is fucked. And I'll tell you exactly what got fucked up. So, I've had a cat, well, Jesse and I have had a cat for 15 years. I think it was born in the winter of 2005. His name's Patches. Very original name. But I love Patches. He's a fucking great cat. And, he did cat stuff, like laying around and judging you, and eating food and judging you, and licking himself while judging you, and, he did a whole bunch of other stuff as well as judging you. That was like the highlight of what he did. He just laid around and judged you. And it was great. He wasn't a needy cat. He had some nice fur. And, he's quite the personality. So I'm talking about my dead cat. And a long time ago, Jesse and I were hanging out, like when we were still kind of hug buddies in junior high. And we started dating back then too. But Patches was born on one of our movie nights. We were just hanging out. I forget whether it was Underworld or Harry Potter. I don't remember which movie, but one of the farm cats that we had at the house started giving birth, and just like, oh my god, I know what I'm doing. So, something to the effect of, I think Melissa come and got Jesse, or Jesse found out somehow Melissa was involved, my stepmom. What I remember quite vividly was holding down Nerd, pulling Patches out of Nerd. Nerd is the mother cat, by the way. And then unwinding his thing around his neck because it was choking him to death. And then Jesse revived him. And then we had I had Patches ever since. And then he fucking goes off and gets cat lymphoma, feline lymphoma. I think that's what it's called. Some kind of fucked up cancer with his lungs. And so at 11 at night, I noticed he was breathing kind of strained, and I was like, oh, that's weird. I know he's got old man body, but he shouldn't be that wore out. Because 15-year-old cat, sometimes some cats just age differently, At one point, he had the end of his tail chopped off. He had a stroke before. So 15 and he's doing that, yeah, if he's running around the house and then he's breathing kind of heavy afterwards, fine, whatever. But he was breathing really heavily. So at about 3 in the morning, he hadn't stopped, because I noticed it again. He came over and I was petting him. Me and Jesse were watching Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. And I was like, huh, that's weird. He's still doing it. So 7 o'clock rolls around, and I Google the vet that's up the street, and they don't open till 9. Like, fuck, okay, so I stayed up 2 more hours. At this point, I've been awake for like 24 hours straight. And I was like, fuck, I just want to get him there and figure out what's wrong and go from there, Get him some medicine, or if something is inside of him, then finance it and get it, pulled out. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't know shit about medicine. So, we go there, and the doctor there is like, hey, there's this big mass in one of his lungs, and it's pushing his heart sideways. And they're like, so what do you want to do about it? And I'm like, what do you mean, what do I want to do about it? I want to fucking remove whatever's causing him pain. Fuck do you mean, B? And they're like, yo, well, we can't, we don't even know what it is. So how about you go to Michigan State University and have them fucking check it out? And I'm like, oh, okay. And they're like, by the way, that'll be $300, fam. I'm like, yeah, no problem, whatever. So $300 later, and my sister comes over. She's like, hey, I heard what's going on. I'm like, cool, because I need a ride over there because my van's fucking broke, wheel bearing, you know. And one of my brakes is so low. I just don't want to drive across the state from the Flint area to Lansing, you know. So, not with my girlfriend, my dying cat, and my son, you know. And, you know, and then we're in the car on our way over there, and Patch just starts breathing even faster, and we're like, what the fuck? So we got some CD images of, or some x-ray images of what happened on a CD, right, that one vet gave us, and, you know, it was pretty terrifying. The vet thought it's either a mass screwing, you know, my cat's breathing up, or it's water in his lungs. Either way is not good, but the water in the lungs bit is, you know, that's like pneumonia, and it's a lot more treatable than cancer. You know, it's not going to impact his quality of life, you know, if it was just pneumonia. We'd get him fixed, he'd have some scarring, and then he would breathe like that for, you know, he'd just have, it would affect his quality of life, but not as bad as cancer, you know what I'm saying? And, man, I'm rambling. So we get to MSU, man, and we find out that the mass had doubled in size from, you know, the time it took us to get it scanned and then, you know, get over there. And they did a CT scan, and that's how they figured out it was a mass, an MRI and some other stuff, you know. And the X-ray wouldn't show what it was, you know, but those scans, whatever they were, did. And they were like, your cat's got cancer, bud. We don't know what kind. You can pay us $3,000 to find out. And he's not gonna last very long, bud. I'm like, what do you mean not very long? And they're like, well, he's 15, he's got old man body. Well, they didn't say that, but they medically were speaking, yeah, he's an old cat, he's not going to recover from this for very long. You know, he might live another year. But he's going to be in chemotherapy the whole time, and then he'll die to this. You know, it will push his heart to a point where it'll just close his heart valves. I'm like, fuck. So Jesse and I, you know, we talked about it, and that was it, man. We put him down. You know, $480 later, we're out $480 in a cat. You know, it's fucked up. He's my boy.